Welcome to Deep Dive.
We don't look upon you as being a visitor. We look upon you as returning to your home, where you know you will be welcome.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the CEO of the Carolina Theater, Mr. Randy McKay.
Thank you, thank you. And welcome to the historic Carolina Theater. I know many of you have been here before, but is there anybody, and I know this isn't fair to ask, anybody who hasn't been in the Carolina Theater before? All right, welcome, welcome, and very happy to see how many of you have. This is Durham's historic showplace, and we've been part of the Durham downtown community for nearly 100 years. This is our 96th birthday, and we will be celebrating our 100th coming up shortly. The Carolina is a nonprofit, and we do a lot of things here that you may not be familiar with if you've only been here to the movies or come to see a concert or a comedy show here on this stage. So I wanted to just give you a short introduction to the Carolina Theater, then I promise I will get out of your way and let you get back to what you actually came here to do today. We are famous for our 2 international film festivals, both of which are in the top 10 of film festivals in their categories internationally. We have the longest running repertory film program in the nation with our Retro Film Festival, and we have first run art house and independent film. If you don't come here for the movies, perhaps you would be interested to know that we also have these seats where you're seated filled with about 16,000 school kids every year for arts education programs in connection with our public schools. And most of you are probably familiar with our concert and comedy shows, but did you know there's also 100 local events a year, much like this one, in this space as well. So we are a major economic driver of traffic into the downtown core, and one of the reasons we've been here for 100 years and operating nearly that entire time. So one of the reasons why we were able to help drive traffic to our many downtown small businesses and help them flourish. I wanted to just let you know that as a nonprofit, it is not the ticket sales that keep us afloat. It is your support as corporate donors and members of the theater. So please, as we all regroup, keep in mind the Carolina Theater. Now, those of us that work in the arts are used to doing what we're doing here on this stage today at night, so I apologize. I'm not awake yet. There was not enough coffee in the world this morning. But I am very excited by having the chamber here in our downtown core today. I even wore my blue suede shoes. No, Elvis is not a guest on the show, but someone that I think you all know very well will be here in just a moment. So please, I think he's on his way in. welcome our very own Mr. Durham.
It's the Durham Show, starring Jeff Durham. And now, here's Jeff Durham!
All right. Well, I know the team is proud that at least the first hurdle's been overcome. I made it up the stairs without falling. And you all assumed that that was natural, but no, it took a little bit of doing because I was all ready to stumble upon this stage. So it's amazing to see everybody here from around our Durham community here at the historic Carolina Theater. And I just want to say hello and welcome to the Jeff Durham Show. Okay, we're not doing that. What I meant to say is welcome to the Durham Show. And I know what you're thinking. You know, Justin, we couldn't double down on my last name any more than we already have for the past handful of years. Here we go, and we went ahead and did this. So, I'm gonna be real clear with y'all. It might be my name on the marquee, but really, the Durham Show, not about me. It's about us. It's about Durham. It's about our great community getting back in business. But not just business as usual, back to doing business even better than we did before. Today, your presence says you're ready. It says that we are ready. And whether you're joining us here in the historic Carolina Theater, or maybe back from your home or office, we're getting back to doing business better. Now, it may look different for each of us because the pandemic has had a really unique effect on each one of us. We all know the significant health toll the pandemic has taken on all of us, physically and emotionally, over the last 2 years. But as we think about economic recovery, it's important to be really sympathetic to the disproportionate effects the pandemic has wreaked on so many of the livelihoods in our community. And while some businesses and workers have been back and able to prosper, the pandemic has been particularly difficult on others. And just as we've consistently found new ways to support each other through the pandemic, there is a renewed call for the community to help bolster our local businesses, which include many of the restaurants, retailers, and venues that we all think of when we go to name what we love most about Durham. At the Greater Durham Chamber of Commerce, we take pride in our resilient and growing economy. We have led by continuing to recruit new jobs while also supporting local businesses and workers. You mean to get that? Because it's not at all. That's what happens with. So hopefully y'all are going to get that's a little bit lighthearted there. So it all happens. It's all good, right? Is that for me? No? Okay. Where was I? Supporting our local businesses, workers, our educational institutions like Durham Tech and Durham Public Schools, the Workforce Development Board, Made in Durham, and so many more of our community partners. I mean, for DPS Foundation alone last year, many of you guys in the room today helped join us in raising more than $1.5 million towards digital equity. I just thank you, started that. Hate to applaud for myself. And guess what? Got good news. A new corporate partners campaign is in the works now, so stay tuned. There's a lot of great activity there as well. We have built new programming and events to help facilitate opportunities for our small businesses. And through it all, we've stayed connected through constant communication, virtual meetings, and starting to re-engage in person with one another safely. We have welcomed many new businesses and members this past year, and eventually, we've actually built ourselves back up to the return to the Washington Duke Inn for the Leadership Forum and holiday reception just as recently as December. But as this latest surge is subsiding, we've started getting together again. And it's why we're here today and why we'll continue to provide more opportunities for anyone who chooses to participate in ways that they feel most comfortable. In the meantime, we will continue utilizing virtual engagement, according to our friends back there that are watching in streaming, through masking and other protocols. Speaking of other protocols, if you all haven't heard, Durham County's newest testing site is at Fidelity Investments. Thank you, Fidelity. Along with continued services at El Centro Hispano, the DPAC, Durham Tech, and other pharmacies and locations throughout our great community. But still, getting vaccinated and boosted is indeed the best guidance. There's nothing more that we can do to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. We recognize that not everyone is there yet. We must respect that, right? One more time for emphasis, right? We must respect that. We're all in this in a unique place. We respect one another's decisions. We're a community that champions diversity, realizing that we are better for welcoming differing viewpoints and approaches to the benefit and support of the common good. As our friends and neighbors are making thoughtful decisions about how they want to participate in our local economy, we've got to remember to celebrate one another. As a consumer, that can mean continuing to order curbside. Maybe use dining or shopping outdoors. Or maybe it's actually getting back and heading into businesses. So we need to be recognize the many new opportunities now. New opportunities also to pursue careers, training, education, and entrepreneurial ventures. We have all gone through so much for these past 2 years. The one thing it's shown me is that, gosh almighty, we really need each other, right? We need each other. And really, that's what the spirit, that's what today, and that's what this Durham show is all about. So, thank you to our key investors, our community partners, our members, our program sponsors today, Fidelity Investment, Raleigh-Durham Airport Authority, Dominion Energy, Samet Corporation, ABC 11, and WRAL. Without you all, everyone in this room and everyone I rattled off just now, we could not do this work. But I know you guys did not come to hear me ramble. Ramble? All right, ramble's fair. You did not come here to hear me ramble. So let me tell you about this great program we have for you today. We have an incredible lineup. Each guest that you're going to hear from today has played and continues to play starring role in our community. And we're going to do our best to have a little bit of fun along the way too, just a little bit of fun. We'll make sure we'll keep a monitor on that so you don't have too much, but we're going to have a little bit of fun along the way as well. And all right, ready? Here's this, the old guy saying this. Make sure you tag Durham Chamber and hashtag Durham Show 2022 as you follow along. That's hashtag Durham Show 2022. At the end of today's program, we're going to be hosting an informational video on how to open a PDF. So you guys can certainly join in on that too. But anyway, hashtag away, please. Am I hashtagging now, Brian? No, we're not hashtagging yet. Anyway, in order to keep the energy high, y'all know me in the room that he's going to need a little bit of help. That's why we got Brian Dawson, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Dawson. So now, without further ado, let's get Bull City, let's get this big old battle cartoon up and running. Let's go. This is where you clap. You don't have the applause sign. Oh my. So that happened.
Right.
So y'all have seen me do those sorts of speeches before a whole bunch of different times. You've seen me do the boring sort of the chamber hands where you're doing this and pointing and everything and walking back and forth, the TED Talk kind of stuff. We're going to try to bring this to a little bit of a next level, right? We're going to try to make this a little bit more casual, a little bit more conversational, and a lot more fun. So, Brian, how'd you think it went?
Yes, I think you're doing good. You didn't talk about your shoes, though. Did y'all see his shoes? Show them shoes, please. You got to show them the shoes.
There we go. For the record, my daughter said they brought out the blue and the tie, so it's a whole ensemble thing.
You look great.
I appreciate that. Thank
right.
you. Thank you. I appreciate you shouting out the shoes. I feel like my head is shiny. Is it shiny?
I'm not going to
Is
answer
the light
that.
hitting it fine? I mean, because I got up really early this morning, and I tried to dull it a little bit, but then you start sweating and moving around. It was drizzling in my defense. Is it okay?
I haven't got my check yet, so I'm not going to answer that.
Okay, I got you. That's good. Well done. So, when y'all are thinking about things like late night talk shows or morning talk shows or maybe cold starts to Saturday Night Live, one thing that sort of has been put into place is this whole concept around lists. And sometimes they're informative, and more times not, hopefully, they're kind of funny. So what we're going to go ahead and get started with today, watch this. Oh, they're coming up. This is exciting. Y'all going to try to match our energy. Brian, if you need to play something in here, because I feel like people are still thinking they're at the Sheraton waiting for their chicken lunch. All right, and love Sheraton and the chicken lunch, but this is different because we're in a theater and we're pretending that it's midnight. So, with that, it is time indeed for our top 10 list. Yeah, see? There, I need that. Maybe we'll get an applause sign up there. So, for those of y'all who don't know, economic development and the work that we do in Durham, 100% team sport. We're not doing this alone. And so I thought it'd be a really, really cool idea to bring up some of the members of our team who could make it today to kind of talk through that. And that, indeed, is what our top 10 category is going to be. Who from the audience wants to ask me, what specifically is that category? Anybody? That is fantastic. Thank you. I'm glad you asked that. Top 10 things you may not know about Durham. And so with that, we're going to start out with our very own Ryan Regan, our Vice President of Economic Development at the Chamber. Number 10, Ryan.
All right, good morning. Number 10. Did you know that we have had some recent unprecedented economic development success in our community? Since the pandemic started, there have been 14 major economic development announcements in Durham County alone, representing 7,000 new announced jobs and over $2 billion in new capital investment for our community, or put another way, about half of everything that has come to the Triangle region over the same time period.
Wow. That's really great. About half of what now? Say that one more time for emphasis. You know we have the emphasis thing, so the emphasis button. What is that? Say the last part, that stat should
The
be.
last part, not that we're playing favorites or anything, but Durham County alone accounted for almost half of all the new jobs that came to the Triangle region since the pandemic started.
All right, let's hear it for our Durham County City leaders. Let's go. Thank you for that, Ryan. Ryan, I was going to give everybody sort of a little chummy nickname here, but I'm reaching for yours a bit. But how about Ryan? Shouldn't you be home with your wife who's 8 months pregnant, Regan?
Yes.
Fit in there. What are you doing here, man?
My wife is days away from giving birth to our second child. If you see me run out of the theater, that is my excuse.
Very well. Thank you very, very much, Ryan. So can't have a top 10 list without a number 9.
All right, number 9. Did you know that we are busier than ever? I certainly know this. We've got 20 active projects in the project pipeline that we are competing for in Durham County, which collectively represent almost 8,000 new jobs and over $3 billion in potential new capital investment for our community.
Those are big numbers. Punching above their weight. Thank you, Ryan Regan. With that, let's bring up Andy. All I need is a miracle from the Economic Development Officer of our Durham County. Sorry, I was just reaching. So, Andy, please take away number 8.
Number 8, did you know that in addition to supporting business recruitment in downtown, RTP, and Trayburn, the county also engages in public-private partnerships like Hub RTP? It's true. In partnership with Research Triangle Foundation, Hub RTP will transform the park, offering retail, residential, office, lab, and abundant green space.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I imagine since you're there, you probably got a number 7.
While I'm here?
Yeah,
Okay,
while you're
sure.
there.
Did you know that the county started working with several of our partners early in the pandemic to build up local labor systems?
Yeah, I do that.
You heard?
Yeah, I've heard.
The Bulls Initiative provides scholarships and wraparound support services to students attending Durham Tech that are pursuing certificates in high-demand industries, connecting residents to fantastic employment opportunities right here in Durham.
Fantastic. Huge, exciting initiative. Thank you. Thank you. All right, with that, we're going to bring up Andre the Giant Pettigrew. I know it's kind of, I should have, that's an old wrestler from way back when, and following Andy, who's 6 foot, no, it's, yeah, no pun intended there. So, Mr. Pettigrew, please, from our great city of Durham,
All right.
head of the economic.
Well,
and
great.
workforce
Good morning,
development.
everyone. And building on the theme of teamwork, did you know that because the Chamber and County are focused on business attraction and other broad-based economic drivers, the city's able to focus its resources on growing and strengthening our local small minority and women business ecosystem. Improving access to capital, supplier diversity, technical assistance are key to Durham's local community development and shared economic prosperity.
Huge. You're still up, boss.
All right, here's the next one. Durham remains a beacon for shared prosperity as documented by scholars W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington at the turn of the 20th century. Durham's Black Wall Street tradition offers a durable blueprint where economic opportunities are connected to entrepreneurs, investment capital, and emerging new markets to generate jobs and, more importantly, wealth. I'm excited about building on that legacy and tradition as a part of the city's economic development strategy.
Fantastic. All right, we're bringing up Susan, call me by your namey, President and CEO. President.
You reached hard for that.
We can-
Did you work on that in advance?
No, we can edit that up and later, right? Sorry, Susan. Susan, our President and CEO.
All right.
Over Durham. Please, Susan, and I believe I have the numbers right. You're going on number 4, right?
I think we're on number 4. Did you know that prior to the pandemic, the visitor impact on Durham generated $932 million in spending in our community, supporting hundreds of local businesses, supporting nearly 13,000 jobs, and contributed $176 million in tax revenue to Durham. The hospitality sector in Durham took a beating through the pandemic, but thankfully most businesses have survived. Some have even opened during the pandemic. and we're ready to see things start taking off this spring.
All right. Susan, number 3.
Number 3, did you know, Jeff did not earlier today, that we are beginning to market the Durham
Fair.
Convention Center, the Carolina Theater that we're in, the Durham Arts Council, and the Armory together as the Durham Convention and Arts Complex, or DPLEX for short. This collaboration will enable Durham to compete for larger conventions, meetings, and festivals while showcasing our creative and arts community to event attendees. We invite you to learn a little more about this as you leave the theater, as you'll hear a little later. If you follow the colorful X's on the floor, not only will it take you to the reception, but it'll give you a sneak peek at some of the art that you'll be seeing connected with DPLEX later this spring.
Awesome. All right. Nicole, you going to bring us home? You're looking at me. Maybe. Nicole, you're from Nicole the Spider Thompson? Is that fair?
I got my socks on too.
There. We did. That was unscripted.
didn't do it,
That
did-
just happened. And Spider Richmond Spider.
Go Spiders, go
there it
Spiders.
is. Please bring us
Hey,
home
hey.
number 2.
All right, number 2. Hey, first off, welcome back to downtown Durham. We are excited to see you in downtown Durham. So thank you. Number 2, did you know that 79% of our businesses in downtown originated here in downtown? That means they started in downtown Durham. If you cast that net a little wider, 90% of the businesses in downtown started in North Carolina. So if you want your eclectic, your gritty, your authentic feel of Durham, come to downtown. Stay in downtown after this event. Participate and join and visit our businesses.
Yeah. Number 1.
Number 1, drum roll. I'm completely off script, so. Number 1, anyone want to guess? Okay, no, I'm not gonna make you do that. Did you know downtown has almost 4,000 residential units, and we have more than 4,000 in the pipeline? That means that we will have, in the next 5 years, over 9,000 people living in and adjacent to downtown. Wow. What's that mean? Why is that important? Those people are living in our downtown. Those people help keep our downtown and our small businesses, those that I just referenced, open and alive and here for you to come back. So we love our downtown residents and we love that so many are coming back. It gives us that vibrancy that we're looking for. Plus, downtown has 4.5 million square feet of office space and more than 830,000 in the pipeline over the next 2 years. And why is this important? Because it's going to bring jobs and revenue to downtown and to Durham and to the region. So downtown is awesome. We're happy to have you here. That's your number 1.
There it is. Love it. Now, I want y'all to know, this is just a sampling of the group of folks that we work with on a regular basis. But everyone on this stage today plays a critical role in creating the ecosystem that makes Durham the innovative, inclusive, creative and collaborative economy that it is. And when we do things together. We speak in one voice, we speak on behalf of Durham. And so I want to thank you all for joining me here today, and joining everybody here back at the theater, getting back to work, getting back out and about. And thanks for all you do for our community. So y'all, let's give them a huge round of applause. You know, one thing did occur to me. We didn't get RTP up here. You know, we've talked a lot about how quick it's growing up and how much work's been going on out there. And unfortunately, Ray Trapp from RTP couldn't make it downtown to join us here at the theater today, but we might be having an opportunity to visit with him in a little bit. And I understand, Ryan, you're heading out now to check in with Ray?
Yeah, I'm going to catch up with him right now, promise.
All right, well, hey, can you get back in time for the reception? All right, reception of the DPLEX. All right, thank you.
All right. Hey, man.
Hey man, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Good to see you. Always. Hey man, we're here. We're here at Boxyard RTP. Let's go hang out, grab a drink, grab some food, and enjoy the festivities at Boxyard.
All right, let's do it. All right. The new kids on the block.
Yep. Brand new, a little over a year in now. So how are things faring for you?
Man, things are busy. I think we've said this a couple times ourselves. So you started in January, last January. I started in February. I think a month after I started, Google announces they're coming to downtown Durham. A few weeks after that, this small tech startup called Apple announces they're going to come to RTP. So yeah, man, we're in the thick of it.
And I was going to say, of course, all of that happened because we came.
Yeah.
Two of those big names that you pointed out between Google and Apple, when people see those logos, that's hope. When they see Fidelity announcing another 2,500 jobs located right here in Durham, that's hope. And so I think what we have to do is continue to foster that hope and make sure that the folks that are born in Durham, raised in Durham, go to school in Durham, can work right here, and that they can take advantage of those opportunities and take advantage of those logos. So that $140,000 guaranteed job salary that they hear, that's not out of reach. Right. We want to make sure that they can touch it and that they can benefit from it. Yeah, so we want to continue to make sure that everyone in Durham can take advantage of these amazing opportunities. And so that's what RTP is about. 6 decades ago, founded for research, development, but ultimately to make sure that we have an economic impact on the citizens and the residents of the state of North Carolina, and most specifically, Durham County.
Yeah, I mean, we're so excited to be such a strong partner with you guys. And so much of our success as a chamber, economic development success, is tied to what you and Scott and the rest of the team are doing at RTF. So shout out to you guys. And certainly isn't the first time I've been to Boxyard. It won't be the last. And it's always good to come out here. Look forward to taking the young family over to Hub when it's up and thriving. And can't wait to keep doing some big things with you.
Absolutely. Sounds good, man. All right, pleasure.
Catch you next time.
All right.
So y'all weren't aware of the time vortex that happens as you exit and enter the Carolina Theater, are you? You're going to all walk out, and you're either going to be, we're not really sure how it works yet, you're either going to be 5 years younger or 5 years older, or you might magically be back at your office or home. We're not really sure, but fingers crossed, and make sure you visit the gift shop on the way home. All right, so, all right, Brian, we're about halfway through here. How you doing?
I'm feeling good over here.
Are you really?
Yes, I'm okay.
That's good. I'm hanging in there.
I wish I could have made the videos. I didn't make any of them.
Now, you know what? I feel like you're on camera now, so maybe you and I can splice some of this happening in a little bit later on. Let's give it up for Complex Creative. Y'all seen these really cool graphics? I haven't seen the team here yet. They might be watching us remotely, perhaps, but just tremendous creative minds around trying to give us the right brand, the right flavor here. And so, once again, I think they nailed it. Now, you might be having a laugh at my expense around the cartoon that is me. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But all hands up for Tobias Rose and his entire team at Complex Creative for doing such a great job. Thanks. There's a couple other things that you and I should probably chat about. We could talk about sports, maybe. I don't know. You like sports? I like sports.
I'm a big sports guy.
Maybe understanding that there's some sensitivity about sports in recent memory. Maybe we can talk about sports that are coming up. So does that sound good to you?
So no Duke Carolina conversation.
I mean,
no.
you want the team? They'll turn on you quick.
I'm a Dookie though.
Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead. Y'all give it up for him. How many folks are happy about the outcome on Saturday night? Yeah, you want a piece of that? Uh-oh. It ain't
That's
over.
right. Coach K said that.
That's what I heard. That's exactly what I heard. So, all right, well, we've got ourselves a bit of a show to still continue on with. And I know we have a game coming up, meaning a game here, not necessarily a game that's going to be tipping off, although that is also happening here in a couple hours. And I see some of y'all watch checking me, so we're going to do our best to make sure you get out in case that is where the rest of your day is in fact headed. But Brian, you like games, right? I love it. Yeah, right? So you guys are going to watch Brian and I play probably just a quick round of Monopoly. And it's going to be quiet, no coaching from the field, but we're just going to go ahead and do that for a bit. Is that cool? Instead, hey, let's not do that. Instead, let's play, it's one of my favorite games. It's the Who Am I game. Anybody like the Who Am I game? All right, so what you guys don't know, many of you in the audience, is that we've done a little bit of research and some bio background kind of stuff, all the great stuff that Google can find for you, so you know between that and Wikipedia, we've got it all accurate. So I know that people are squirming a little bit, which is kind of cool because I'm uncomfortable up here, so at the very least, y'all could share in some of that. So what I'm thinking is that I, on my cue cards here, will read you a few cues, and if you think the person I'm reading may be you, I would invite you all to come up to the stage and stand at your predetermined blue tape mark on the stage. Thank you for getting that. People said that was going to be too subtle and no one would get it, but I said, no, these Durham people are smart. They're going to catch it. So thank you for that. All right. Ready? Yes. All right. See, I promised myself I wasn't going to be the guy that says, you know, you ready or good morning, and then everybody says that lackluster thing like good morning, and then I would be the person that said, you can do better than that, because I don't like when people do that to me necessarily, so I'm not going to do that, but y'all could help me out a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Thank you. This is a lot up here, and again, I think the head is shining, and I've got these cards, and there's time to fill. Here we go. This person has served on the Durham County Board of Commissioners from 1988 to 2020. She was the vice chair from 1994 to 2002, the chair from 2002 to 2008, the vice chair again from 2008 to 2012. In addition, oh, there's more. Oh, there's more. You can find so much on the computer. There is, in addition to her work locally, she held several critical committee assignments with the National Association of Counties and served as the district chair and as various steering committee chairs with the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. She's a co-founder of East Durham Children's Initiative, Durham Community. Help me welcome Ellen Reckow. Just hang right there for a little bit. Just a second. Thank you, Ellen. All right. We've got one. Some of y'all heard shouted it out early. Nice work. So here we go with number two. This person served on the Durham Board of Education from 2004 to 2008, the Durham City Council from 2012 to 2017, and as mayor from 2017 to 2021. He founded the Independent Weekly newspaper and the Hopscotch Music Festival. Right? Okay, hearing some mutterings. He came to Durham to attend Duke University, where he went on to teach, and is still a pretty big fan. I think you and I enjoyed a game this year already. So with that, everyone, help me welcome Steve Schewel. So this is kind of fun because y'all can just stand there and look at everybody. I'm going to have a sip of water. I still have more people to go, but this is, you have music or anything you can kind of play through this? No? Okay, we'll go. This person served on the Durham Public School Board of Education from 2004 to 2020. She served as the chair from 2006 to 2012, vice chair from 2012 to 2015, and the president of the North Carolina School Boards Association from 2017 to 2018. She was an officer for the National School Boards Association and the Council of Urban Boards of Education. And she is also a co-founder of the East Durham Children's Initiative, a graduate from Hillside High, St. Augustine's University, Fly Eagles Fly, and North Carolina Central University. With that, folks, welcome Minnie Fort Brown. Thank you. Somebody got the memo this was supposed to be upbeat. Thank you, right? Whew. Okay, this person served as county manager from 2014 to 2021. He was the vice chancellor for administration and finance at North Carolina Central University from 2011 to 2014. Deputy Durham County manager from 1999 to 2011. He came to North Carolina via Bertie County from the Washington, D.C. area. Everyone, welcome Wendell Davis. All right. Well, even though the marks on the stage indicate that all of our spaces are filled, oh no, there's one more. Anybody want to be surprised? Sure, who doesn't like surprises? I mean, it's a little bit, yeah. Thank you. Finally, the person who served as Durham city manager from 2008 to 2020. You know what? He was drafted by the New York Yankees. I don't know about y'all, I'm pretty glad he chose to stick with local government. He enjoyed posts at Temple Terrace and Pensacola in Florida before coming here to Durham, North Carolina. He and his wife remain in North Carolina, but we are honored to have him join us here today, virtually. Welcome, Tom Bonfield.
Well, certainly I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Chamber and tell you how proud I am to be a part of this class of the Bull City Hall of Fame. Certainly the other individuals that I'm being recognized with, Wendell and Minnie Fort Brown, Ellen Reckow, and Mayor Schul are some of my favorite people that I had an opportunity to work with during my career. But it is truly an honor to be recognized, and it's good to be back, although virtually. Sorry that I can't be there in person.
That's all you got, Tom. Hey, guess what? Just happen to have awards over here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to give out these awards to our great class of 2022. We'll do a quick photo op, just you and me. I know this is really important for you guys, so make sure there'll be questions about how the photo op stuff went. So we're going to do a quick photo op, and I'm going to ask you to kind of go back and stand in line again, and there'll be the group stuff, right? So you've got your fan club right there. With that, Mr. Davis. And oh, please, I forgot to mention this. By all means, say a few words. Congratulations. Thank you. Let's do this. Look up. It's just a head joke, isn't it? That's a head joke. That seems so unreasonable. There you go, sir. Thank you so much. All right.
Well, since Jeff insisted on us saying a few words, I've got the next 30 minutes or so to talk. No, in all seriousness, just prior to my walking up here on stage, I had a little notification that popped up on my watch, and it was essentially saying that Children's Hospital in Ukraine had been bombed by the Russians. So we will continue to pray for free democracies all across the globe. And this is just an editorial comment before I really say what I had to say. You know, I came to Durham about 24, 25 years ago, and at that time, in our downtown, we had tumbleweed rolling in the streets after 5 o'clock. And so it has, in fact, been most pleasurable having an opportunity to be a part of all of the change that you've seen over the years, certainly over the last 25 years, working with our various partners and stakeholders in order to bring about that change. You know, one of the things that we're struggling with today, as I think about Ukraine and I look at the politics of our nation, of our communities, is this whole notion of extremism. And it really doesn't matter whether it's extremism on the right or whether it's extremism on the left, whether it's Trumpism or whether it's our local People's Alliance. The reality of it is this: moderation is key to good government. And when you get in societies where you can't hire police officers, you can't hire public health nurses, you can't hire paramedics, you can't hire E911 workers, you can't hire, you know, a detention officer to work in the jail. It speaks to the heart of the civility that we expect in our society, because the only thing between insanity and that civility are those people who do that work. So I would say, essentially say this: the important work that we have to do going forward is making sure that we understand the value and the importance of moderate government, because we're in a battle between moderation and extremism. Jeff, I want to thank you and the Chamber for all that you do. I certainly want to recognize all of my friends here today, Minnie Fort Brown, Ellen Reckow, Steve, Tom Bonfield, and appreciate all of the work that they did over the years to change Durham and to see what we enjoy today. Thank you.
I just kind of get to stand behind Ellen there, but move forward a little bit. Ms. Fort Brown, thank you so much, and congratulations. Here we got a quick, we're doing a couple, we've moved. This is, we got one more.
You didn't let me get ready.
Yeah. Fantastic. Please, by all means.
The African proverb says it takes a village to raise a child. Well, my village has been better than good to me. I want to say thank you to my village. As you've heard on Who Am I am a Durham native, product of Hillside High School, segregated Durham schools. I'm proud of that. I'm the only Durham native that stands with these servant leaders here today. I'm proud of that fact. I want to say the Durham community has done great things and will continue to do great things. The Durham public school system is the 8th largest school district in the state of North Carolina. And I've served with these people, traveling around the nation, looking at those things that help create equity, excellence, access, and opportunity for our children. And not only our children, but for their parents in Durham. And so I'm happy to know that we're bringing businesses to Durham that are going to hire Durham people so that Durham people can benefit from all of the monies that come here. That is excellent. Our families will be blessed by that. Everything that I've done, not everything, but most of these honors that I've received has been because I've been on the Durham Public Schools Board of Education for 16 years. It was a challenge, but it was also a blessing. So those of you who are thinking about public service, Durham Public Schools is going to be offering positions, and make sure if you think you're qualified and you have the stamina and the back to do it, do it. Thank you, Durham.
Hey, can I ask you to stand up here just a little bit longer, just on the other side? Just the other side of the window. Thanks. Hey, sir. There you go. Thank you, sir. It's great to see you again. Okay, they're everywhere. All right. All right, they're up there now. They've moved. They're over there. We have to smile. I'm just joking. They're just y'all just moving on me a little bit. Please, by all means.
Thank you. Isn't it great to be back together again after all this time apart? Man. Yeah. I want to begin with a couple of thank yous. First of all, my appreciation to the other members of this class of inductees. It's an amazing group, and I'm just extremely honored to be a part of it. And as many said, I've worked with all of these folks very closely over a long time, and it's just wonderful to be up here with them. I want to also shout out the Chamber, especially for the work that they have done in so many ways, but I want to just mention what the Chamber did during the pandemic that was so important to us. We had a recovery and renewal task force that really coordinated our work around pandemic response. Jeff was a member of that board and a leader of that board. And the Chamber pulled together, Brian Fox was staffing these groups, all the different businesses in Durham under all the different kinds of businesses, the restaurants and the fitness clubs and all of those in groups that could work to figure out how they were going to recover from the pandemic. And the Chamber was just so key to that work, and I just want to remember that and appreciate it very much. Jeff, thank you all so much for that. I want to thank Leo Rubert, my wife, my beloved, who's sitting right over here. I get to wake up next to her every morning. It's pretty awesome. It's just great to have you here, babe, and thank you for everything. And what I want to say about Durham is this. I am 100% sure of this. In the next 20 years, the next 30 years, there's not going to be any community in America that's going to be a better place to live. This is, right now, the best place in America to live. Our quality of life is the best. The way in which we welcome diverse people is the best. The diversity of our economy is the best. Chapel Hill is a great town to live 10 miles away from. And Durham is just the best place in America to live. And our job is to keep it that way. We have to work every day to keep it that way and to make it a city where everybody can be able to live, can afford to live. We know that people are welcome, but we need to make it a place where people can afford to live. And we have to work on that job every day. So thank you. It's a tremendous honor. I really appreciate it. And I am just, again, very humbled to be here with you today. Thank you.
If I could, thank you so much. Ellen Reckow, thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations. We got to hold that with hands. We're scattered. They were here first. All right. And then this way. Show's yours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, first, I've got to say, it is great seeing everybody after this COVID time out. You look better in person than you do on Zoom. So it's really wonderful to be here in person with you. I want to thank the Chamber for this significant recognition. I really appreciate it. And as some of the others have said, it means a lot to be with the 4 other people, 3 of whom are standing here with me. The reason is that what I saw during my 32 years in county government is that the big things, the important transformational things happen when we, city, county, schools, work together. And that is what this group, along with Tom, who's not here, did for many, many years. And when we were rocking and rolling, a lot of great things were happening. When I was elected in the late 80s, Downtown was dead. Government was really the only major employer in downtown. And there were no people living in downtown. So the numbers that Nicole cited earlier are absolutely amazing. And then we did so many other transformational projects. The Holton Career and Resource Center that helped to revitalize Northeast Central Durham. The renovation of Whitted School, which is now a beautiful senior complex and a pre-K center. And the Board of County Commissioners has made a commitment to go to universal pre-K. Those are the kinds of things that happen through the collaboration of these people. So when we get together, public and private, often with the help of the Chamber of Commerce, great things happen in Durham. And I loved hearing all that's going on today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Good. All right, everybody, bear with us for a minute. We're going to mobilize very quickly and get, while we have these four esteemed guests, while we're gathering, let's give it up one more time for the 2022 inductees. All right, one more. Yep. There can't be a picture without me being. Oh, I can get in the middle. All right. We're looking at him. I was about to wave to you, Ken. All right. Nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're great. Thank you. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much. We'll see you guys around afterwards, right? Stick around. All right. I don't want to call names, but Mike Langduth, I noticed you didn't take a picture. What? I mean, are you just going to wait and get those later? Okay. We can, someone text Mike a picture of us because, we're all up here. All right. Let me get back to my brain here to figure out what we're doing next. How about some music for a minute? Just play our stars off. You really can't miss with a Billy Ocean transfer, can you? I mean, there's really, right? How? That's fantastic. Okay, who can name the movie from the 80s that Billy Ocean scored? It's a really small one of these dopey teen kind of comedies. But he scored that song that was I want to say 88, and it was Get Out of My Dreams and Into My Car. You remember that thing? That was a train wreck, and I just hope it didn't mess up all the great things like Caribbean Queen. Yeah, you can see I'm buying some time here. So y'all done? Yes, we are, Jeff. Please get along with the show. All right. So my work team hears me talk to myself all the time, and so they're like, see, this is what we have to deal with. It's leaving. All right, but we have a whole bunch of other exciting things to do here, and I have all of these cards and so many thoughts about them. But I think it's important for us to continue on. Yes, indeed, it is important for us to continue on. So, what I'd like to do is call up two of our tremendous leaders that we've enjoyed, that I've enjoyed working with over the past couple of years. I'm going to introduce Audrey Masonette Morales. We've had a lot of fun so far, Audrey. Hang tight before I get you up here. But it's time for a few more guests and a couple of honest conversations. Our next guest is definitely one to continue to watch in our community. Her star has steadily risen through the ranks of one of the most respected and trusted healthcare institutions across the country. She's made appearances at our sold-out women's conferences in 2020 and chaired our board of directors in 2021. Please join me in welcoming the Vice President at Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, a great partner of our community, and a great partner and advisor of mine. Thank you, Audrey Mason-Ann Morales. Hey, bud, are we dapping? So many of ours and my conversations have happened usually after hours as we're struggling up for what's going on the next day. Your leadership, your guiding hand, your steady hand. I know that you and I have talked about this. I'm so greatly appreciative of all that you've done for our organization and shepherd us through. I mean, let's be honest. Y'all remember what 2021 was like. These are unprecedented times. And you think you got a plan, and then you don't have a plan, and you reschedule. I'm not going to even use the word pivot. I saw some of you thinking, oh my God, he's going to say pivot again. Nope, not going to do it. But you have to re-strategize and then adjust and then move forward. And so with that, I thought it'd be a great idea, not just to honor Audrey for her great level of service, but also to hear a little bit about her and the great work that she is doing, both with Blue Cross Blue Shield as well as the community. So with that, Audrey. Hey there. Hey, how are you? Good. So why Durham? What drew you here to begin with? What was the magnetic force?
Yeah, so I moved to North Carolina in 1993, moved to Durham at the first part of 2000. Durham is the home of Blue Cross North Carolina, which is obviously where I work. But I also found that it's a fantastic place to live, to learn, and to just be part of a great community. The diversity here is fantastic. So I raised my two kids here and have just really loved it.
That's fantastic, and I'm glad to see you stuck around. I think you and I have talked a little bit about, too, and with the it's such a great opportunity to raise kids in this area, and I know that you and I, as we're chatting, kind of breaking free from our professional talk, talking a little bit about personal stuff and kind of where I am going through with our kids right now in the school and things like that. It's always been enjoyable to kind of stay in touch that way. So, you know, this COVID thing sure has changed the way all of us do stuff, the way we meet, the way we conduct business, even how we socialize. But really, it's for a company the size and the importance of Blue Cross Blue Shield. How was that changed for you all over COVID? And then conversely, what does that relationship look like with the chamber?
Yeah, so a couple of things there. So, Blue Cross North Carolina, I think one thing it's important for people to understand is that we're mission-driven, not profit-driven. And one of our values for our organization is people first. When COVID hit, we absolutely went full steam ahead into people first mode, which is not different than how we typically operate, but I think what was different is that we were very determined at that point to amplify our mission, which is to make healthcare better for all. So I think one thing that COVID taught us is that we're all in this together. We've heard other people speak about that earlier in the program. And so it wasn't about us, it was about how do we remove barriers for our members and for other people that were typically, found themselves struggling during this time. So we, as an organization, saw our claims double, over $380 million in 2001 alone because of COVID claims. We put any focus on the bottom line pretty much out of our sight and worked very hard with our community partners to remove as many barriers as we possibly could to remove that burden from people and just make things easier. So we also understood that aside from the concerns around the medical expense side of COVID, there's also the social isolation. There was also an amplification of the haves and the have-nots. And so a lot of effort went into mental health and to bridging those gaps to just make things better for everyone as best we possibly could. So a lot of work went into working with our partners. As it relates to our employees, we went to what we call hybrid flex. So obviously we started working from home and we've continued to build out that strategy. And part of that was to, again, make things better for everyone. And so we are, for the most part, a fully work-from-home organization now. We continue to innovate to make things a lot easier for our employee base. Someone threw a pitch out there earlier about looking for talent. We're always looking for talent. We continue to find great ways to work and to serve the great state of North Carolina and to just trailblaze a different way of doing healthcare for the country.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. You know, you had touched on this a little bit, but Blue Cross Blue Shield is so involved in our community. What are some ways that maybe folks aren't necessarily aware of how deeply embedded you are in the fabric that is, you know, Durham and the Regional Triangle?
We do so much. Number one, we work a lot with Made in Durham, for an example. You heard me mention about social determinants of health. So, you know, during this crisis and even beyond that, you know, we do a lot of work with providing all sorts of grants and investing millions. Just in Durham, for an example, Durham County, we have spent over $22 million just since 2018, just really pouring back into the community, working with farm to table, really centering on education and finding different ways, again, to bridge the gap between the haves and the have-nots, and building up even from the youth and finding different ways to ensure that we are taking care of North Carolinians at its core.
Thank you so much for that and for all you do for our community. If I could pivot us a little bit as we move on. You've been such a guiding hand and been involved so heavily with our Take Noble conference and series that we've done. I think we're going into our 6th year. And soon we're going to be rolling out programming even more for this year. But with this being Women's History Month, and I believe yesterday was International Women's Day, I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to all the great women in Durham right now doing business and keeping our community moving forward, especially the elected officials and appointed officials as well. So if we could give them a quick round of applause. But as a leader of talent with a big corporation, how do you celebrate and continue to advocate for women in the workplace?
Yeah, so I think one of the first things as a senior leader in the organization, I make myself available to share my knowledge and to make ways for other women. So I'm very big on removing barriers, really big on working with organizations that dispel and remove biases and inequities. Blue Cross North Carolina has tremendous programs where we do focus on diversity and inclusion, and so I play a big part in that. I also do quite a bit of mentoring and coaching women, again, to help them to be their very best.
Well, such a great leader in all of those important spaces that matter so much to Durham. So just thank you to Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and really appreciate the ongoing partnership. We're going to continue to program here a bit, but I did want to say certainly to Audrey, she's been on our board now for at least 6, maybe 7 years. I got that right, all right. That's unscripted. And so it was 6 years. And this last year in a significant leadership role, one that, again, unprecedented times as far as the challenges, and your advice and direction to me about how to hold our team together, keeping, as we're working remote, and sometimes it's virtual, and how to make sure that we keep the culture of the organization strong. Your expertise there was just tremendous and such a guiding hand for that. And so as just a small token of our appreciation, the Chamber of Commerce and our Board of Directors are proud to present you with this donation in your honor to the National Kidney Foundation. So thank you very much. I'll hand this to you. It is just an envelope, but I've been told that we're doing more pictures. Yeah, we were told it in my I'm just kidding. Yeah. Right, thanks, y'all. We're going to call somebody else up. Can I ask you to stay up here with us for a bit? Thanks. You know what? Good host doesn't turn his back to the audience. You see what happened? I turned my back to the audience. That was bad. So we're going to work on that. It was just the once, but still, nonetheless, couldn't stand improvement. So here we go, moving along. We do have one more guest here this afternoon. The last thing I want to do is stand between you all and the D-Plex. And so with that, sorry, Susan, you love it. And I do know exactly what it is and how important it is to our community in this space. And so it's just good fun. Anyway, our final guest is the new board chair of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. He most often, did you write this, Adam? He often gets mistaken for Brad Pitt. Which I actually think, and this part is true, I wrote this part, I think that's insulting to Adam, because I think it's, I mean, if Brad's a 9, right, then maybe Adam's clearly an 11. So anyway, after all, but there's more stuff here. See, I'm going to read over myself and my impromptu thing. So after all, Brad is just an average-looking movie star with average acting skills. However, our next guest has been instrumental in Durham's startup culture and continues to advocate for the business community. And if that's not star quality, I do not know what is. He is a two-time academic All-American in golf, and he doesn't have to play one on TV, folks. Welcome the director of American Tobacco Campus and American Underground, our new leader for 2022, Adam Klein. So we've learned a lesson. We'll just from a distance because apparently I'm toxic.
It's nice of my mom to write that intro.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. I don't want to know who I would be physically compared to. We've seen what the caricature looks like, and it's sort of like a weird George Jetson-y kind of thing. So I know what y'all think of me. So welcome to the eye candy up here, both Audrey and Adam. So we're going to start this off the same way we had before with Audrey. What drew you to Durham?
Yeah, I actually came here to go to graduate school. I was at Chapel Hill and studied city and regional planning. And my first internship, role while I was a grad student was in the South Bank building at SJF Ventures, and fell in love with Durham. I first sort of experienced downtown, just loved the bones of the city and the people. Mm-hmm. Just grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and so the kind of roll your sleeves up, let's get to work mentality of Durham really resonated with me.
Nice. Have you made it back to your old office recently?
No.
Doing some renovations.
I've had a beer across the street, so
I guess you can see all the
take it
changes
in.
that are happening.
Yeah.
You said the South Bank building, ladies and gentlemen, for downtown. That's that thing. Okay. All right. Adam, given the role ATC and American Underground, and as well as the Durham Bulls play in downtown, how have you all continued to support your tenants, small businesses, and also the broader community?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. We've all talked about this. It's been tough on the business community, small businesses, restaurants in particular. It's really just been, we aren't a traditional kind of landlord. We've got relationships with our tenants, so checking in with folks, seeing what they need and how we can be helpful. One of the things I'd say, sort of navigating the pandemic that I'm really proud of is that we've actually been fortunate to have several new restaurants land at the Tobacco Campus. I'm looking at Leonardo Williams here, who's going to open a new restaurant with his wife, Chef Swaley, here in just a few months. Actually, 5 new restaurants on the Tobacco Campus that'll be debuting in the next 3 or 4 months. So really excited about that. Focus on outdoor dining, really making it a destination for that, which we're super excited for.
That is super exciting. I was also looking at that list, that tenant list. I mean, literally, it's a global experience there. I mean, pick a place in the world that you want to try some cuisine from.
And GSK's at the Tobacco Campus now. Clorox is expanding, so it's really exciting to see happen.
Times are absolutely. That's fantastic news. I know we've all been reading about some of the buzz around the next phase of American Tobacco Campus, and for what you can share at this point in your own words, what's shaking down there?
Yeah, we're just a few months away from breaking ground, so we're really excited for that. I can tell you without saying who it is that there will be a grocery store there, so we're really excited about that. Mixed use project, timber built, so it'll be really beautiful construction. It'll mesh really well with the Tobacco Campus, kind of history of downtown Durham. We're working with the Institute. I want to call them out to make sure our suppliers are diverse, and we're working with local folks wherever we can. They've just been incredible to work with. So we'll be underway here soon and completing sometime in early 2024.
Wow, that's exciting. That's great news. Fantastic. As Nicola has said, downtown continues to grow and add multi-layers of dining, entertainment ventures, places to live, places to work. And so, thanks for all you do to kind of help build upon that ecosystem. Let's take off your ATC hat and the real estate development piece of that and put on your entrepreneurial hat. Mm-hmm. What innovations are you seeing now coming from that side of the community, our startup community in Durham?
Yeah, I think for a while, Durham's been known as the city of medicine, so healthcare, insurance, biotech's always been a strength. And lately, technology's kind of come on the scene. What we've not seen is the blending of the two, sort of health data, things like that. And so some of the startups that we're seeing right now that we're super excited about at places like American Underground and across Durham generally are in that space where you're getting that kind of collision of technology companies with biotech, life science companies that we just hadn't seen before. if you look at where venture capital and other investors are putting money, a lot of it is going into that area. So hopefully that bodes well for Durham in terms of local homegrown entrepreneurs building and scaling successful companies here in our community.
It's fantastic, and we have this space to continue to support them as they do grow.
Exactly.
And it does, again, you know, I've talked about this all the time, really, that's such a critical piece to creating an environment that talent wants to be at.
That's right.
Our restaurants and our retailers are a key component to that. And we watch all the time when companies are making their decisions ultimately about where they're going. It's not just real estate anymore, right? It's also about like, well, where's that pipeline of those employees we both talked about, talent development? Where's that coming from? And ultimately, that workforce is making their decisions on where they want to be first, and they'll go ahead and find that job somewhere else. And employers in making these decisions have kind of inverted that decision process. And so, you know, thanks to both of you for everything that you do for our community. If I could, Adam, get you to stick around. Let's bring in Audrey a little bit on a kind of a little bit of a round table here, as much as this isn't round, nor is it a table, although this is a great desk. Anyway, oh, you know what, while I said that, hey, this is a great desk. Thank you so much to Capital Discount Furniture for lending us this fantastic desk. And I like it. I mean, I've got a desk at home I've been working, you know, from a couch and maybe sometimes a dining room table. But this desk is better than really almost anything I've sat at. So thank you to our partners there. That was seamless, right? That didn't seem out of place or anything, right?
Perfect.
I'm getting tired. You can tell, right? I'm getting tired.
You're doing good.
You need me to wrap this up? You can just, okay, you can play out salt. So we're going to go ahead and continue the conversation with one thorn and two roses here as we go. So what, between you two, what makes you most excited? Now we're talking about not necessarily American Underground, Capital Broadcasting, not just Blue Cross Blue Shield. Certainly we'll have a flavor of the conversation around those, but really about your role in leadership with the Chamber. What has excited you most about being here in this moment as leaders in those companies with such a huge reach and impact, and how we kind of leveraging the Chamber's position here through your leadership as we move forward?
Yeah, so you actually spoke to it a little bit earlier, but the work that was done with the GPS Foundation and Bridging Digital Equity was super, super exciting work and just super important to me. I think as a leader that focuses on talent development, everything that's happened over the past couple of years has just really amplified the fact that we have got to bridge the gap between how people are learning and how they are developing those skills, and how those skills can be translated into jobs that allow them to live in the communities in which they serve. So I think that the Chamber has played such a phenomenal role, I think, in integrating a number of different organizations together on that important topic, and really serving as a great leader. And the landscape that's ahead of us, I think, in terms of innovation and opportunity is boundless, and I look forward to seeing, the next steps for the Chamber.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Adam?
Yeah, Audrey, you've been such an incredible leader, and I want to just commend you in front of everybody here for your leadership of the board, seriously. She runs a great board meeting, so I've got big shoes to fill. I would pick up what Audrey's talking about. I think we're at a really interesting inflection point as a city. The next 5 years in Durham are going to be, they've already been transformative. It's going to happen at a rate that's even faster as we look at the next 5 years. And so I think you heard some of the Hall of Fame inductees talk about this. It's incumbent on us as business leaders, as public sector leaders, to think about make sure that local folks are pipelined into those jobs, that those opportunities are available to all. Because if we do that well, we can chart a different course than communities that are growing, but you're seeing kind of a barbell economy. We don't want to do that. Nobody in this room does. And so how can we come together as a community? The Bulls Initiative, what Casey and the Made in Durham team are leading, I think is a really excellent example of that, but to do it at scale, to continue to grow that and think about training and pipelining thousands of people into these jobs, because they're coming. Yep. Google is great, Apple is great. They won't be the last big name companies that will come to our region, and making sure that we're thinking intentionally right now about how we connect our public schools, connect our community college system, our universities, obviously, into those opportunities, and making sure that people are ready for them.
Nice. Thank you for that. So y'all have been around some really tumultuous times here in our business community and our broader communities through 2020, 2021, and 22. You guys have both been with the Chamber the entire time in significant leader positions. During that time, what were some of the accomplishments that you're particularly proud of? And we could go as far as you guys would take us, certainly, in many cases. And so your leadership has absolutely been critical to not just the recovery aspect of things, but also how we venture forward. So it's sort of a two-part question. What have we accomplished, and really what are you looking forward to accomplishing here as we go into 2022 and beyond?
I think for me, last year was anything but normal. Certainly wasn't what I was expecting stepping into the chair role during that time where everything was virtual. But it was an absolute pleasure getting to serve with some of the best leaders around the table, and the Chamber has just been phenomenal, a great learning experience. But I think one of the things that I'm most proud of, Jeff, is partnership with you, partnership with Adam, obviously, Stephanie, Tobias, many of the other leaders, and just our ability to pivot. The Chamber had a choice. We were at a crossroads. We could have very easily just kind of waited it out and decided that the landscape was too disruptive to do anything, but instead we pivoted and we found different ways, I think, to connect with the business community, with the leaders of the organization, with leaders around the community, with policymakers, et cetera, to really, I think, strengthen the connections that's necessary to continue to drive Durham forward. And I think that we, in doing so, kind of unveiled all the different possibilities that stand before us, and kind of getting the nerves behind us and figuring out how we can do chamber work very differently and create an environment, I think, that everyone can thrive in. So, yeah, that was very exciting for me.
I think looking ahead, I think the Chamber plays a really important convening role. I mean, we're talking about having not done this for several years. I mean, how many times we missed bumping into each other walking out of BU Cafe or wherever your regular coffee spot is, and you get that 3 or 4 minute conversation that helps you think maybe a little bit differently about a problem or come together on a problem. And so I think one of the things that we as an organization are excited about going into this year is playing that convening role, having the opportunity to get leadership across our city, our business community, our public schools, private sector, to be having conversations about some of the things I talked about, the 5 years that we're looking at ahead of us and what we can be doing to be thoughtful leaders and making sure Durham ends up in a really good spot and is charting a really good course for the next 20, 25 years.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both very, very much. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Our leaders at the Chamber of Commerce. So we do have one bit of a formality. It's the passing of the gavel. And so, Audrey, if you could turn it over to Adam, and I'll let y'all take a quick picture of that. Can y'all hand it? And do we have a camera there or not? There he is. Pass it over to Adam. Smile quickly. Adam?
You're going to do awesome.
Thanks. Thank you. All right.
Find a, here's a real sturdy piece of wood.
Oh, yeah. Should I?
Y'all join me in thanking Adam and Audrey. Thank you very much.
Take the mug.
Yeah, we'll get one. You can do whatever you want.
Thank you.
Whew. Anybody else winded? Okay. Well, we are wrapping things up. Durham community, it has absolutely been wonderful to welcome you all back into downtown, this beautiful historic theater. And whether you're in our audience here today or at your office or home, it's just great to be engaged again. I want to say thanks as we wrap things up. Congratulations again to the Bull Cities Hall of Fame class 2022. Ellen Reckow, Steve Schul, Minnie Fort Brown, Wendell Davis, and Tom Bonfield. One more round of applause. And again, thank you to our guests. Thank you to our key investors. Thank you to our business members. And thank you to our community partners and everybody who was here helping me lift this up today. I want to also thank you to our program sponsors, Fidelity Investments, Raleigh-Durham Airport Authority, Dominion Energy, Samet Corporation, ABC 11, and WRAL. None of this is possible without you all. Thank you. So up next, as we get back together, the Chamber is bringing back many of the programs and series that y'all have joined in the past. And we're even going to be launching some new ones, including many that are now focused and more increasingly focused on our small businesses. In the coming weeks, some community partners are even going to Florida together with the Regional Transportation Alliance to study bus rapid transit, commuter rail, urban design, and other areas we can learn from on the ground. You know, there is still a place to join, and I know Mike's selling tickets to get there, so we were going to hold even a follow-up conversation after this event in Florida to sort of wrap it up and debrief. And as a little bit of a warning, if you don't go to Florida this RTA trip, we're probably going to talk about you at that wrap-up meeting. Of course, that's not going to happen. So that meeting will be held on Thursday, April 7th. I see everybody's already writing that down, so good. But it will get to the information there. I'm also excited to announce that based on that experience in just a month, we will begin planning our very own interregional visit this fall. So we thank you for that and looking forward to partnering with you all there as we build that out. While RTA helps us lead in transportation, the Durham business community has proven through so many other efforts that we are indeed prepared to lead in other areas. And so many of our comments we heard today weaves through that common thread. We've been collaborating already on matters like racial equity and inclusion, housing affordability, education, and community safety. We want and we know we can do so much more. So I'm also excited to announce that the Chamber is starting an initiative through our foundation to help engage for more corporate support. And I hope we can count on all of you in this room today and watching from your office or home to join us. Stay tuned for more information on how you can get involved, and I hope that you can stay for us lunch now inside at the convention center. So while you're downtown and throughout our community in the days and weeks to come, please continue to support each other, especially our small businesses. And we look forward to continuing so many of these important conversations we've touched on today. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for coming downtown. And appreciate you viewing the Durham Show. All right.
Better let them have the toy. Girls will be girls. Cute ponytails.